Political panel weighs in on America's News HQ. President Donald Trump lashed out against his critics Saturday, arguing in a series of tweets that he is one of the most productive presidents in U.S. history. Trump cited Wall Street's recent record-high numbers and the military's latest victories over the Islamic State group in Syria and Iraq as wins for his administration. The president's tweets came after Senate Republicans this week passed the 2018 fiscal budget, which is seen as the first step for the Trump administration toward a tax overhaul. Trump's latest touts of his work also came amid a feud with U.S. Representative Frederica Wilson, DFLA, over his condolence phone call to the widow of a recently killed U.S. soldier. Earlier Saturday, he urged the news media to keep reporting on the wacky Florida congresswoman. The Hill reported Trump previously tweeted his administration's accomplishments in August, saying few, if any, administrations have done more in just 7 months than the Trump A bills passed, regulations killed, border, military, ISIS, SC. Trump says he has signed the most bills into law by any president over the last 70 years, but has failed to get a health care proposal through the Senate. A vote in July to repeal the Obama administration's landmark health care bill failed, 51-49. The Associated Press contributed to this report. U.S. Army Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl is expected to be sentenced Monday, 1 week after pleading guilty to deserting his post in Afghanistan in 2009. Associated Press. Bowe Bergdahl, the U.S. Army sergeant who pleaded guilty Monday to deserting his post in Afghanistan in 2009, says his Taliban captors were more honest with him than the Army has been since his release 3 years ago. At least the Taliban were honest enough to say, "I'm the guy who's gonna cut your throat," Bergdahl tells British TV journalist Sean Langan in an interview with the Sunday Times magazine of London headline The Homecoming from Hell. Langan, too, is a former Taliban hostage. Bergdahl, 31, from Haley, Idaho, says he never quite knew where he stood with the Army as he performed administrative duties while awaiting his desertion trial. "Here, it could be the guy I pass in the corridor who's going to sign the paper that sends me away for life," he says. "We may as well go back to kangaroo courts and lynch mobs." Bergdahl is expected to appear for sentencing Monday in a military courtroom in Fort Bragg, NC, after pleading guilty to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. He could face life in prison. Bergdahl was freed from the Taliban in May 2014 in a highly criticized deal in which the Obama administration agreed that the U.S. would release 5 Taliban terrorists in exchange. President Donald Trump harshly criticized Bergdahl during the 2016 presidential campaign. Army Colonel Jeffrey R. Nance is the judge who will decide Bergdahl's fate. Factors expected to weigh into the sentence are Bergdahl's years spent as a hostage, and the serious wounds that some U.S. service members suffered while searching for Bergdahl. The Associated Press contributed to this story.